So it's been 20 years since Independence Day came out, and you're a pretty young guy. So how old were you when the first film came out?
6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah.
So what's your experience with the first movie?
I watched it on VHS the first time I watched it. We had a copy of it at
Yeah.
my house. Yeah, that was the first time I watched it.
And
I
what
wasn't technically allowed to watch it, but I watched
Oh
it.
really?
Yeah.
So you snuck
I was
around.
like M15 at that time, so I was like, 6-year-old. But I watched it.
So I imagine your character is about the same age as you. You play a guy
Yeah.
named Jake Morrison.
Yep.
What's his experience with the events of the film?
Yeah, so his parents were killed in the first attack.
Okay.
So we grew up in an orphanage, joined the military. He became a fighter pilot and ended up in the best of the best fighter pilots. And makes a bad decision and ends up being demoted to the moon, where he drives what is essentially the same as a forklift on the moon.
So basically, you kind of become this blue collar worker in space.
Yeah.
Kind of, you feel like not living up to your potential in a way.
Absolutely, yeah. It's what he's doing now is very boring, to what he's used to doing. Yeah.
So how is it? I don't know, without diving into spoiler territory, that
Yeah.
you come into action. You kind of just like defy the superiors and say, no, I'm gonna.
Well, yeah. So we sort of pick up 20 years later, and he's doing some stuff on the moon, which is not very exciting, and then something else comes back. Some other, some stuff
Can't imagine what that would be.
happens,
Yeah.
and I just grab the hold of it, and
What's
I want to disclose too much.
explosion stuff?
That kind of stuff.
What's the experience been like with your co-stars? You have a lot of the original cast coming back: Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah.
Vivica A. Fox, Brett Spiner.
Yeah. I have a lot of stuff to do with Jeff Goldblum's character in this, and we've had a lot of fun in the Moon Tug, which is my sort of spaceship at the beginning of the film, and
It's massive.
Yeah, it's big. Weighs 40 tons. Literally
it's
weighs
crazy.
40 tons. We had a lot of fun in that. Yeah, it's been it's kind of a different process, anything I've ever done before, because it's a lot of imagining what's happening, filling in the blanks, but a lot of fun. Yeah.
Compared to something like The Hunger Games, it sounds like you're going to get to see a lot more action in this movie. Is that
There's
true?
a lot of action in this film, yeah. In a huge grand scale. I think Roland Emmerich is someone who is one of the best at doing this sort of film, this sort of genre, in this large kind of world. And I think this one is just going to be bigger than the first one. Bigger everything.
You could get an action figure for this one?
What's that?
You think you'd get an action figure for this one?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right, that's all I got.